Hey everyone, and welcome to our live. We are so happy to be here. It is going to be a super special day because we have a couple of special guests. Linda Rayburn is going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking about Hatch version 3. It's been released. We're super excited. Lots of great new features and tools. And Jennifer and I actually did have a little holiday. We got back, so this whole launch happened while we were gone, so it was a little bit stressful. Luckily, Linda picked up everything, and as you know, if you've watched the video, she did a fantastic job on showing you all the new features. But we also had an exciting special guest. We got home, and I have a little visitor who I have to show you. You want to bring him in here? Okay.
All of our admins did an amazing job.
Yes, everybody did an amazing job. Here is my little visitor. This is River John, and he came to visit us in Costa Rica. He's all set for the sunshine. And hold on, we got to take off the shades. Is that okay, Mom? Okay, there we go. So here he is. Hey, River. Hey, River. Okay, so he's going to steal the show. He's been my special little guest, and he is full of energy. He can see himself on the screen right now. So if you love River, give us some hearts. Give us, and you just came right in front of the camera there, Mom. But Grandma is happy as well. Jennifer, what do you think about having River here with us?
Oh,
you're live. You're okay. Love it. And my daughter Beth is here. Beth, can you come get him?
Hello.
Okay. So Beth is coming in here, and she's going to grab him. There's Beth's hands. Anyways.
Who doesn't love it?
Okay. So we are super happy because we have grandbaby here. So that is the fun, new, exciting thing that we have. Now, before we get into the Hatch demo that we're going to do with Linda, I did want to share a couple of quick things that have happened while we were gone. And I'm just going to show this on screen real quick and show you a couple of the things that we actually have featured. You might not have seen it because I think our newsletter went out a little bit late last week, but we did come out with a new lemon drop collection. So this is a collection of lemon designs that are great for doing all kinds of home decor. And it is on sale right now for $9.95, and it's normally like a $59 value. So this is a limited time sale. If you want or are interested in these, James should be putting up the links right now for you guys. And that is something that is available as well. Now there is something else that I did want to show you, and that is our new release for, I guess it's a patriotic release because we know that the July 4th holiday is coming up. And we did a tile scene. You might remember that last year we actually did a big tile scene of the Liberty Bell. And the Liberty Bell was about 2.5 million stitches. And I did this at the same time last year. And I had to wait an entire year to show you guys. But this one actually has more stitches and more detail. Now it is available in 6, 7, and 8-inch size. And there is 2,711,000 stitches and a little bit. So, but it is awesome. It is really, really huge. Jennifer, do you want to get behind the camera there? Because I know you don't like being in front of the camera. So I just saved you there. I'm going to switch over cameras just so you can see this, guys. And up, wrong one. Hold on one sec. Let's hide this over here. And I'm going to switch over. So actually, let me go to full screen so you guys can get a really good shot of this. And I'm going to switch over to the other camera. Now I'm going to swing over here as well, just so you guys can see this. And Jennifer, you can see me on screen, I hope?
I can.
Awesome, awesome. So here is the 8-inch tiles. So this is 25 different tiles that make up this scene. And it is the Statue of Liberty. It is incredibly detailed. You probably can't see it, but if Jennifer zooms into one of the tiles here, and you should be able to get pretty close, there is almost an embossed look. There's like little stars and stuff on them, so you can actually see all of the stitches and all of the detail. There is 2,711,000 stitches. So if you, and let us know if you've ever seen a design with that many stitches. I've done very few designs with this much detail in it, and it is a little bit of a labor to love to digitize. But if you do get this design pack, please run all of the pieces and post the samples so that we can see it. So that is our big release that we have for the 4th of July. And I'm just going through to the other side here, bring my other camera back. And here we go. Okay, so we are back now. And just so that you guys can see that on the, I guess, slide, that is on sale as well for $39.95. Now, the only other thing I have to show you before we go into the actual demo is our Patriotic Sale. And I know we have, I think, 531 Patriotic designs that are on sale right now. We just finished our summer sale. I think the summer sale is still going as well. But all of our summer and Patriotic designs are 51% off as well. So check those out. And without further ado, I just want to bring Linda in. So give me a second to get everything set up here.
While you're doing that, how long did it take you to embroider all those pieces?
If we have somebody who has a calculator in the audience, I guess we had an average of 100,000 stitches per panel. So just over 100,000 stitches. The machine ran at an average of 500 stitches per minute. So 100,000 stitches divided by 500 stitches per minute should give you a, I guess an amount of time, and then divide that by 60. But it was probably 3.5, 4 hours per panel as far as taking it to run, and then times that by 25. So I know it took a long time. I think it probably took me less time to digitize the design than it did to actually run the samples, because when I'm digitizing big fills in big areas, I can do a 30, 40,000 stitch area in a matter of seconds, and the machine obviously has to catch up. I don't know the exact number, but it is pretty easy to figure out based on how fast your machine goes. Any other questions? Did you see some hearts and stuff with River? I mean, pretty cool. Okay. Anyways, I'm still pumped up. Jennifer and I are having lots and lots of fun, and I just want to bring in our very special guest. Hey, how are you, Linda?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. Okay, so you came in and saved the day, and I really honestly mean that. I mean, all of our admins, as Jennifer said, have been awesome, but I know you just got back from holiday, and then I threw that whole thing on you about doing that video. You did a fantastic job, better than I could have. But what do you think?
It was fun doing it.
It was? Okay, so what do you think of your holiday, first of all? Did you have a good time? Oh, we lost Linda. Uh-oh. Okay, Linda hopefully will be coming back. And oh, here she comes. Okay.
Okay.
Are you there?
We are having kind of storms here, so I feel like I'm in your shoes in Costa Rica I'm praying that the power doesn't go out. So there was a flip.
It was okay. Well, we can always get you back. That's the beauty of having this stream online, is if you go out, hopefully Linda will come back. Otherwise, I'll have to do a little dance because I didn't prep much. I was relying on you. So this once again proves God has a sense of humor. But did you have a good holiday?
We did. We had a great time. Yes.
Awesome.
We went to England for a couple of weeks. Beautiful country. So hello to all my UK Hatch friends. And yeah, we had a great time.
Good. And I know that you were part of the beta team, which was testing Hatch version 3. So you had quite a bit of practice with it, and you kind of saw it through all of its development size. What's your overall feel?
I'll tell you what, I started testing it maybe about a year ago, and there's like a group of us, and we're given different tasks, and we test it out, see what works, and give our input. And I will tell you that the Hatch developers are amazing because they really listen to all of our members' requests. Whenever we say drop a note over to Hatch, they really do pay attention to our requests, and it's really evident in all the new tools that have come out and the ease of use, and it's a nice transition. So there's lots of fun new things, but it's been fun to kind of be on the back end to see what they're tinkering about and what's been released. So I'm really excited about Hatch 3.
I agree with you 100%. There's obviously some brand new things that they've brought into the software, which we didn't foresee, but I agree with you 100%. Some of the little things about, I guess, the friendliness of the software and things that would just make our jobs easier. I definitely saw a lot of improvements in that way. So I agree with you 100%, and we appreciate your feedback. And that is why it is important that you let us know and let Hatch know what you're looking for. Obviously, they can't do everything that people might ask for, but I think they crossed off a lot of really important things off the list.
Definitely.
That's why I think it's important as well when we ask people to make sure that they share it. It's a good thing.
For sure. It's a really good thing. And we appreciate you guys because it's kind of cool because you're helping to develop the software. And it's kind of really cool when you're dealing with a company like Wilcom, which, it's not like they just started writing software for embroidery, a few years ago. They've been at this 40 years. And I remember using their software from the DOS days. So I've seen it evolve. And because I am on the commercial level, I have seen some of the things that they've released in Hatch in their commercial platform. So you guys are getting stuff that was really engineered for the professional embroiderers, and it's made available to you guys at a very reasonable price. So
yes.
Linda, just so you know, there's a lot of great comments coming up about a wonderful job that you've done. So.
Yes, and yeah,
I've been trying to post. So anybody that's watching that is not a member of our Hatch Facts Facebook group, I encourage you to join. There'll probably be a link or something James will pick up. But I am starting to showcase a lot of the tools that are in Hatch. So I create a Hatch 3 tip. So I think I've got 14 or so far since it's been released. And of course, we've got the Hatch 2 tips, and I've got about 200 of those. So those are all still good. So we've got a lot of learning and education. And now the members that have downloaded Hatch 3, they're starting to post their new creations. So it's really exciting that people are sharing and learning. We're kind of all doing this together. So, every day you explore and learn something new. So
For sure. And keep in mind as well that the foundational tools that the software was built on are still there, and they still perform pretty much the same way. So the education that Linda's done, the education that we've done within the Dream course, all of that still does apply. We're just adding, I guess, different new layers to the software, which is pretty cool. Now I'm going to try to be quiet. It's not in my nature. I'm waiting for Jennifer to pipe in here. She's smiling at me at least, but I'm going to bring up your software because I think you have everything set up, and you just wanted to show people,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, a few of the features that are in here. I'm going to make me a little smaller. I might even get rid of myself afterwards for a little while, but you are going to give some of the demos of your favorite things, and then we are going to try to give some time for, I guess, having some questions come in. Before you start, I just want to add one more little thing. And that is that Hatch has, and I'm talking about, Wilcom Hatch, they have really done a fantastic job with this release and with trying their very best to support people on the technical side. With any release like this, where there's so many variables that can take place, especially with a 64-bit platform, which means that the software is running faster, but it also requires more speed and memory and all those things that you need when you're running a high-end graphics program. So they are doing their very, very best to actually get any issues or problems you're having. I know they actually have extra staff on call. And if you are having any issues, just please be a little bit patient. But I think for the amount of users that we have, they're trying to get to everybody as quickly as possible. Right, Jen?
That's right. Yeah. They've been doing a fantastic job.
Okay, awesome. So just to, so I'll actually leave for a second. I might pop in a little bit, but Linda, if you want to take the show.
I'm going to do this is kind of new for me doing this live, so bear with me if I goof up or anything. So
no problem. I just might pop in and make fun of you then a little bit.
Yeah, please do. All right. So what I've kind of gone through is come up with some of my favorite new tools, and I'm just going to give you kind of a brief kind of look at some of the new tools, and we can discuss them further, in the Facebook Live or, of course, in our group. So with this one, I'm going to show you the Laydown Stitch tool. And so, okay, no, hang on. There we go. So we go into the Laydown Stitch tool. And so I've brought a design up on screen. In the past, of course, we all called it the Hatch Smash. And we've had to go in to create layouts. Well, with this Hatch 3 release, if I select this entire design, there's a new icon right here called the Laydown tool. And it gives you a couple different options. You can create an offset around the entire design, and you can set the distance. You can include holes or not. You've got different border shapes that you can put around your entire design. And it also has the ability that you can stitch 1 or 2 layers of the laydown stitch. And of course, you can now set the spacing, the stitch length, and the stitch angle. So if you wanted to do 45 and a 135-degree difference, it'll do that too. If your nap of your fabric isn't very heavy and you just feel you need one layer, you can have one layer. So there's also a little preview button. So right now I've got the standard shape on, so you can see what that looks like. But if I switch over to offset and give a preview, and it'll take a second to generate the stitches, and if it include the holes, we can try that again too. So with this preview feature, it prevents you from going back and forth. It allows you to take a quick look of what you like and quickly create that laydown stitch. And I know a couple people just tried it. There's a beautiful design in our group today with a sailboat that was done all in running stitches, and she put the laydown stitch behind it, and it looks beautiful. So here's another new tool, and this is called the hand, oops, well, there's my first little goof up, but that was the laydown. Let me see if I can pull that one back up. Yeah, let me pull that back up. And so here is, I'm going to demo the laydown stitch tool. So with this design, this is you can create your own embroidery designs, but if you want to create a hand stitched effect, there is now the hand stitched effect. And notice how that it automatically changes the densities, and it kind of gives it a more of a rustic feel, great for like folk art or heritage designs or different costumes. You can also come into the object properties, and under effect, there are different options you can change. So you can change the different lengths. You can add a feathered edge if you'd like. Let's say you just want one object like right here, and maybe you want to give it more of a random look. I'm just kind of randomly playing around with this, but you can see that you can create a really pretty design, and I think this would be awesome to use with like heavier weight threads. So I'm really looking forward to some people trying this out. And another person in our group did post a really pretty I think it was like a dahlia horse design in our group, and she tested it out and looks awesome. And while I've got these sequence docker open, I want to show you this other great new enhanced feature. It's a new feature actually. So remember before, if you're clicking several objects and you're going to hide them, so I've selected those and I'm going to right click and I'm going to hide my selected. Well, now Hatch will allow you to come in and select just one item or maybe a couple and unhide selected. So in the past, remember, if you had a really long sequence docker like this, and maybe you've had a bunch of things that have been hidden, and you try to go unhide, you hit unhide everything. So that's a great feature. And the same thing applies with the lock feature. So if I tap K on the keyboard, you'll notice Hatch has included this little status bar, which will show it's locked or if it's hidden. And the same thing applies here too. You can select one and then unlock just that one. So that's great for if you're resequencing or want to move something around, or you don't want to bump it on your screen, you can then unlock just individually. So that's another little great feature right there. So
I'm here, Linda. I'm just going to add one point there because I love that new hand feature, and it's kind of ironic because I did bring up one design, and I think we chose the same, I guess, designs from the same pack, believe it or not. And afterwards, I don't want to break the system and bring mine up on screen. But what I really love about that hand stitch tool is you can just isolate certain objects. So if you just want the leaves to have that hand stitch look, and you could maybe even run those with like a different weight thread as you suggested, and have the count at one time and have looser density, and then you could do the detail on the inside in a regular thread and tell it not to do a hand stitch effect. So I think there's going to be an incredible amount of, I guess, creative play with different thread types, and with taking any design and starting to manipulate it for different ways. I mean, it's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to have fun with this. I've got some 12 weight thread, so I think this would be awesome with it too. And you can also change the density too. So there's a lot of options. And with these tools, they've given you a lot of creativity to really change the design and make it the way you'd like. So I'm looking forward to exploring this one a little bit more. Let's see, what else? Let me cancel that. Let me see what else I have. Oh, so I know a lot of people have been asking who hasn't had, machine file fonts, and those are the ones that are compatible with your machine. So I've got a Janome machine, so I have Jeff files. So I'm trying to bring this up here a second. So before I even knew what Hatch was or what an ESA font was, I had, of course, acquired a large collection of machine file fonts. And I'm sure, why don't you put some hands up in the group of who has a huge stash of machine file fonts? Well, what Hatch has done is they have listened to us and said, you know what, can't we map these individual characters on our keyboard and type them in like we do the ESA fonts? Because prior to this Hatch 3 release, you would have to bring one, object file in at a time, and then you would just combine your letters. Well, now they've created, it's called the Keyboard Design Collection. And so you have a couple different ways to map your fonts. So I found the easiest way is if you take like one letter, and M is like a uppercase M has most of the sizes that would be corresponding to all the other uppercase letters. And if you come over here to New, and it right now it recognizes my font name, which I'm going to keep that right there. I'm going to click Use Selection. And what it does is Hatch recognizes what the size font was and what size it came in when it was digitized. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm right here. So now I am ready to start mapping some of these characters. So if you notice over here that there's the capitals, lowercase, 0 to 9, and there's standard characters. So you've got a couple different options. So I'm going to use this standard character. Let's go with hash mark right here. If I select it, and it's got the check mark in it, and I double click on the hash mark over here, you'll notice that, well, let's see, there it comes. So the hash mark has now been mapped on my keyboard. So you can do the same thing with numbers. So if I come over here, and I'm going to, let me just grab, I have a feeling I've just mapped a whole bunch of them. So anyway, I do have a video that's coming out. Oh, okay. So you'll find this will happen. If you double click on that letter when you're trying to map it and you didn't actually map it, it will just automatically come up on screen. So if you find that happening to you, that's the reason. So let me see if I can go back to the keyboard design. That pops up. Okay, so let's just say I want to map these numbers. So I'm going to deselect this right here. And if I do a little slower, so I've got the 6, 7, 8, 9. If I hold down my shift key, I'm going to select the other numbers right here. The 1 and then the 0 is up here. And if I come over here to 0 and 9, you can see it's mapping those characters, and it's automatically mapped right in through here. So sometimes, depending on the way your font is brought in, you have to come in and you would select each individual capital letter, and you would map it. So that's kind of a brief idea of how when you can bring in a letter using the keyboard design collection, and I'll give you a look of what it looks like over here. So if we come back on our screen, let's see if that pops it up. Okay, and I'm going to click on the lettering tab, and Hatch 3 now includes the keyboard design collection as a font filter. So you can see that the keyboard design collection is included with, you can select all embroidery or the true type fonts if you want to filter them that way. So right now I'm going to pop open the keyboard design collection, and you can see I've got that font mapped. Now I'm just, here, hang on a second. Well, okay. So right here, I'm going to click on this. You can see I have other keyboard fonts already listed, so they show right there. And you'll notice that Hatch has made a big improvement on how you're able to view your existing fonts. So I'm just going to click on this, and then if I click, well,
I think it might have gotten confused because you might have already done that one before, and now you're in process of maybe doing it again.
yes, and that's
I'm guessing.
that's what I think that's what I did.
Yeah.
I was testing that. So let me just
But
bring
it does work. Some of the cool things is as far as doing like the baseline is concerned,
yes.
if you do map your letters, and after your letters are mapped, then you can go in and kind of tweak or fine tune them and create the baseline. Because a Y, obviously the bottom stroke of a Y will come down a little further, and you can adjust those letters. So it does take a little bit of time to map all of those stitch files, but once they're done, and then it will in reality act like an ESA font does.
Exactly.
But one thing I do want to make kind of clear is there is definitely a difference between a ESA font and one of these fonts, which is a stitch file that has been assigned to Keybook. And there's also a difference between true types, because the true types will almost be auto digitized. The stitch file fonts were actually already digitized, and then you assigned a keystroke, which means that you really have to be careful about how big or small you make them, right?
Yes. Yes. So it's just a matter of playing around with it, and I'll post some more stuff in the group. And as you can see, I'm still working live here, and I'm not as proficient as John is doing these demos. So how about we'll look at the they've really improved the auto digitize feature within Hatch, and you can come into the design library, and Hatch has included some great new clip art designs that you can bring in to auto digitize. And let me show you where that is. So if you come up into, let's say it is public pictures, this is where you're going to find it, and you double click on that. And I'm going to go to Hatch Pictures. And notice when I clicked on that, nothing showed up. And this comes up in the group a lot too. It's because I had my embroidery files showing. And so you need to switch over to artwork. And this is where you'll see all the artwork that you can now bring into Hatch. And you can see there's a lot of really cute designs. So in the auto digitize option, if I come back on over here and my scissors comes back up on screen, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to come over, and I'm just going to go auto digitize instant embroidery, and I'll give it a second. And there you go. You got a beautiful auto digitized design. So with the faster processing speed with this Hatch 3 release, the auto digitize features are really improved. So I think that you're going to really like using this tool.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go back one step just so you guys know. Linda did mention that she is or has done a video on how to map all of the fonts.
Yes.
And that video is done. I believe James has already edited it, and I think it's going to be this week's release on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. So if it's not this week, it'll be next. Yeah, it's those are, and it's tough. You're doing a great job, Linda. It's tough doing these live because if anything can happen or anything wrong can happen, it always happens during these. With the auto digitizing, I just want to add as well that there is a lot of really great advances. Keeping in mind that the quality of the artwork that you use will determine the finished results that you get. So, because a lot of people will, bring in something that is very low resolution or way too detailed, and they'll hit those magical buttons and they might not get the results that they want right away. But I think they did add a lot of extra features. So if you do want to auto digitize and you want to basically clean it up within the auto process, there's a lot more functionality for that as well now.
Exactly. And then you can come back and, of course, select a character and reshape if you want to reshape an object. So like John said, just come back in and, clean up the objects or add something to it. But there's a lot of really
and you could, You could
sewing
change
little
stitch
icons.
types. I
Yeah.
mean, you could change stitch types. You
Hmm.
could take the knife tool and sort of cut that one up and change that
Hmm.
from a fill to a satin. It's one of those things where when you learn how to auto digitize, and there's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, in my opinion, you get better results when you do it manually in the first place. But when you use the auto digitizing tools, a lot of times it can save you time because it's really going to look at the objects that it sees, and it's going to basically vectorize them. It's going to turn them into lines. And
Hmm.
then you can go in, because you know the rules of embroidery, and you can manipulate those nodes and change the stitch types. And in reality, do a little bit of manual magic and make it actually look pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's fun. So give it a try. But there's a lot of cute new artwork that they've included in Hatch 3, especially a lot of really cute little sewing designs that I think people would really like to use. Let's see what else I've got here. There is a new tool called the Photo Reef Stitch tool. And so what this does, it's another auto digitizing type tool. And this is another piece of the new clip art that you'll find in the design library. But when you click on your artwork, or you can insert your own artwork over here, you click on the Photo Reef Stitch tool, and what it does is it will change your color design into a black and white design. Because what it will do, it's going to use one thread, and this would look awesome with some variegated thread. I think people can really have some fun with this, and it will digitize kind of a vermicelli or a little stipple type stitch. So you have abilities to change all the, the different brightnesses of the design. You can auto adjust back on this back page. So Hatch has really given us a lot of more creative freedom to kind of tweak our designs to get the look you like. So there's also this preview button again, so which makes it nice so that you don't have to keep going back and forth. And here you can see how cute that design is, just in one color thread, and you are just creating it using some clip art. So that's kind of quick and easy, and you can make, of course, different adjustments. You can make it heavier to increase the density. So again, the preview tool, you can see the difference between one or another. So it's just another fun auto digitizing tool that gives you some other creative options. It'd be fun to combine this. Maybe if you had some applique or some other types of fun stitch types, within your design. So
Yeah,
again,
I agree. I'm chiming in. I know you can't see me, Linda, but I'm going to
I
chime in
know.
every once in a while. But I think that is actually a really exciting tool.
Hmm.
That is one that has crossed over from the commercial to the home. And keeping in mind that when you use that, when it converts it to black and white, it's looking at the shades. And of course, the darker shades get more density with that
Hmm.
sort of stipple or vermicelli stitch, and the lighter shades get less. And because you can control that contrast, it makes a really nice effect. Now, here's where I think this is going to be fun. And I know that I should not challenge you on anything because I learned my lesson when we actually did the Halloween thing. But I think that having that reef stitch in conjunction with using some of the manual digitizing tools
Hmm.
could give you some really awesome effects. And
Oh yeah.
I have a video I'm planning on doing where, just like that design that you did there,
Hmm.
you could use that automated feature, do that reef effect, then bring that same artwork back in as a backdrop and
Hmm.
start doing some outlines
Oh yeah.
around the. Okay, so if now it's a race, who's going to
All
do
right.
that video first? Okay, but that was on my list because I think that there's a lot of. I mean, it's wonderful to have these bells and whistles that I
Hmm.
like to call them, where you can get some automated results. But let's not forget that we can be even more creative with
Exactly.
the process and use the other tools within Hatch as well. So
Hmm.
I hope people's wheels are turning because that's going to be a really fun one. And I'll start doing some samples for that soon.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think there's, the sky's the limit with, picking and choosing and combining all these different designs. So I think it's going to be fun. The other one is called the Photo Stitch tool, and this is my friend Gooner here. So I'm gonna auto digitize him using this Photo Stitch tool. And so what Hatch has done is they've really enhanced the features of this tool. And I'm gonna click, I selected my artwork, I clicked it, And again, sort of looks like the Restitch tool. And notice how you've got all these different options. So it comes in at RGB, red, blue, and green colors. And you can also, after your design is digitized the way you like it, you can, there's a color matching thing. So you can pick your own thread chart if you want to do that, you know, based on what your stash is. So that I think is a really cool option. You can map it to bitmaps. So what Hatch has done now is it's giving you more creative options. Once again, it's a matter of giving us more opportunity to play with our software and really see what it can do. So you can change your stitch lengths, the minimum, maximum, the amount of coverage you want, how much definition, what your trims are. You can have auto adjust features. So I'm just starting to learn a little bit more about doing some little editing in like Photoshop, and so I'm just kind of a beginner at that. But I think the more you play with the different softwares together, the better quality of designs that you can produce. So I'm just going to click OK. But let's give old Gunnar a little preview right here. And he's kind of come up on screen. And there he is. I just think it's amazing that with one click of a button that you can get results like this. So I just think it's a fantastic tool. And again, another one I'm really looking forward to exploring more, and mix and match. You could crop out the back and just do the dog, or, you know, you can really have fun with this tool. But look at all the shading. I mean, it is truly amazing. You know,
and I think you can fine tune the amount of colors that it sees as well. So
exactly.
you know, if you
Yes, you can go up or down, and you know, just
if you're doing this type of thing,
awesome. Yeah,
for sure. If you're doing this type of thing for somebody, a friend or a loved one, you know, yes, there's probably going to be a few more trims than a regular design, and there might be a little more density in some areas. But the fact that you're able to do this, like Linda said, at a click of a button and get some quality results, that actually is impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, just the amazing detail, but in the color blending, so you can just keep really playing around with this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what, you know, people who've used this tool in the past and looking at how all these awesome enhancements, you're really going to go crazy over this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to be posted soon. So let's see what else I have up here. Oh, okay. So it's a gem. So this is something new that's being offered with the Hatch 3, and Gem is like a little add-on bonus program. And I've done a couple of stitch outs, and some people have been playing with it in the group. And this is just like an additional little purchase. But to order to access the Gem for cross stitch, you're going to find it up here. You have to click on File and come down to cross stitch, because the cross stitch is an actual separate program. You'll see that I'm going to come out of Hatch in just a minute, and it just takes a second for it to come up.
Now, while Linda's waiting for that, the gems, and there's two of them, I guess, to date, they are optional additions to the Hatch platform. And if you do follow our link, and I think James will probably put it up there, or Beth will put it up there, but you can support us as a reseller. Of course, we do give you a bonus ESA font if you get either one of the gems through us. But I know the cross-stitch gem is, in my opinion, incredibly, how can I word this?
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
And it's not expensive.
No,
I mean, it's $89, I think, is the cost for the gem. And it gives you some really, really cool, I guess, results.
Yeah, I started off cross stitching by hand, and I'm sure, you know, many of our members have done that before. So now I can barely see the cross stitch fabric. So this tool I'm pretty darn excited about. So you can come in and you'll see.
Okay, what might have happened, just so you know, Linda, you might have to, I'm going to hide that on screen. Okay. It's still showing the dog on screen. So I'm going to hide that one, and you can go into your share, and you'll have to open up a new window.
Okay.
Yep, and we'll do a couple questions while you're searching for that, because it's going to be, Okay, so one question that I did see was, do you need to have the Windows 11 upgrade to actually get the software? No, you do not. I'm still running Windows 10. Are you running 11? Do you know, Linda?
No, 10, 10.
10. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're both running 10 within our platforms, and it seems to be functioning without any issues whatsoever. Another question, Jen?
Yes, Susan St. James is asking, so if you have a 10 needle, you can limit to 10 colors if you like how it looks.
Yes, you could. Within the I guess auto digitizing,
Mhm.
you can tell it that you only want to see 10 shades, and it will narrow it down to those 10 shades. Keep in mind, you might not get as much detail because colors do matter, and you can maybe choose 12, so you might have to switch 2 out or something, but you don't have to run 25 colors in a design.
Any more questions? Or is it
Sure. Well, actually, I think Linda's ready. I'm going to try to get this
Can you
back
see
on
it?
screen. Actually, all I see is a black screen on that one,
Oh, darn.
unfortunately. But let's try that again and see what happens. Okay, another question, Jen?
Yes, Veronica Morrison is asking, will the hand stitch tool work on purchase designs or only on ones that we've digitized?
I think that it'll work on a machine file format as well. I mean, it works best on EMB files, but I think it'll work on that. Yeah, I don't think we're getting up, Linda.
Oh.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah,
I'm going to
it
hide
is
that.
coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Did that work?
Okay. Now you have 2 of them. You might need to close the ones that you have.
All right. If I
Steve
close
says
that
it's
out.
kind of good that Linda's
Okay,
fumbling
hang
a
on.
little bit because it shows the other people who also do the
Oh.
same things what not to do.
Okay. Sorry, I had your mic off, Jen. Do you want to repeat that?
Oh, I just said, Stephen had said that it's good that Linda's fumbling a little bit because it shows them how to correct things once they're fumbling a bit.
Yeah, well, this isn't easy. Doing stuff live like this is not easy.
This is
I'm just
terrifying.
talking. I'm not even on camera.
And
I get it.
Did
I'm just
that
wondering.
show up? Let me turn the
It's still
grid
showing
off.
up.
How about it? Does that
Okay.
work? Did that work?
No, I still don't see it, but I'm just wondering under your share button if you have end my screen shares, and you can end all your screen shares first.
Right.
And if you end the screen shares and then start a new one, because I still see the Hatch one there, so you're still sharing the Hatch
All right.
one. But maybe if it doesn't work, what we'll do is we will save that for another YouTube video, and
Sorry.
we'll come back to that. But I'm sure we have lots more questions. So any other questions, Jen?
Speaking of YouTube videos,
Okay.
Monique Hyatt is saying, will you be doing more YouTube videos on each of these new tools so that they can learn them to the max?
Do you want to answer that, Linda?
Yeah, no, I plan on it. Here's the example, and I have it in the group of the cross stitch, the quality of cross stitch. So I brought that into Hatch, and I just added the border around it. So what the cross stitch does, there's an auto digitizing feature. You can create lines, you can create designs, you can click, copy, paste, rotate. So you can create a lot of traditional cross stitch designs. So my goal, I've got the manual. So if you're on the cross stitch gem, if you click on the help tab at the very top, you have access to the user guide. So I tell everybody just to, download that. It's PDF and look at it on your screen, but there you can create full crosses, half crosses, elongated crosses, outline. It does a fill stitch. It, will do like a mirror copy. So the design that I had when I created this for.
So that one that you showed with just previously, if you were to do that by hand, how long would that take you?
Hours.
Hours and hours. And how long did it take you to digitize?
You're looking at it. Oh, this took to stitch out probably like 10 minutes. So I
10
will
minutes.
say to slow your machine down because you are making those little X's. So you don't want to create any excess pull because you will have, trims within the pattern because you are, jumping. You can't have a run stitch to connect to the other object. So that's how the cross stitch is a little bit different. So it's creating, full crosses. And this lemon, I didn't know you were doing a lemon drop design. So we keep thinking alike here, John.
It's perfect.
This was auto digitized. So I just changed it to my color. So I will of course do some videos on this because I'm blown away with this tool. I'm just having really fun. Hatch, when we were doing the beta testing, it just kind of came out recently. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to play with it. But what I've seen so far, I'm just really impressed. And I know people in the group
Yeah.
are really going to have fun trying it out.
Well, I know when I was talking to you, you had told me that you did cross stitching years ago. So
I
you
do.
actually know the whole process and the whole
Yes.
thing with the points and all that. And I remember years ago playing with a cross stitch program that Wilcom had. So, I mean, it's been around kind of for a while, but I think they've really kind of fine tuned it and made it extremely easy to use so that even somebody like me could create a cross stitch program that's going to actually run well on the machine and make logical sense, right?
Yes, yes. It's very intuitive, and you'll be surprised at how you can, just create an outline, and then there's a tool that you can fill in all those little X's that you so you don't have to manually put them in. Of course, you can manually put them in, but there's a lot of automated tools that will make it go pretty fast. Like this one, this design that I did, I really only used the cross stitch on half of the house, and I mirrored copied it. So, you're not filling in the whole thing, but it's really fun. So I'm looking forward to really having a go with that one.
Yeah. Now the other gem that is available is actually Corel Gem, which that one I'm how can I word this easily? I am a old school digitizer, so I never wanted to personally learn two programs to create a design. Meaning that if I were going to create an embroidery file, I could take any artwork and use the tools in the embroidery software and create a design. For me, learning to use Corel Draw was to actually create the design and then use digitizing to create it again. It felt like I was doing the same job twice. So that's why I probably, just so you guys know, I personally won't be doing many classes on utilizing Corel, but I do know that there's a lot of practical applications for people who are doing SVG files and for cleaning up some artwork. So if you do want to use the auto digitizing features within the software, then the Corel might be a good, I guess, addition to that. But please keep in mind that there is a learning curve because it is a completely separate program than Hatch. Would you agree with me on that,
I would
Linda?
agree. I'm in a complete learning mode. So I
Yeah.
I won't be able to, I'm going to learn the basics of it because, like you said, it is a whole nother
Yeah.
learning curve. But from what I've tested in it, you can bring in SVG files, and you will be able to select the SVG file, and you can turn it into an applique and send it back over to the Hatch side of the software. You can also take SVG files and turn them into embroidery. So do different outlines, and you can change the different stitch types like that. So I'm a real beginner on Corel. So if you don't see me post a lot, it's because I'm really in learning mode, and my eye is on the cross stitch. I'm really having too much fun.
Yeah, I think we're both kind of in learning mode on the Corel side of it. But with that, I will also just let people know that it is in a way very reasonably priced for a Corel Draw product because it is the Corel standard. So if you have, because I know you actually have a full-blown version of Corel, right? Which
I
does
do.
also, yeah. And that one will have more features, but it is a lot more than $250 to purchase a, I guess a higher level of Corel. So I think what they've done is they have provided a base level of Corel Draw that is really applicable for what people in our industry would want to use it for. Because learning, I guess, that full-blown version of Corel, it is a whole other. Okay. Yeah. So I think we had that conversation too, because you had started learning Corel a little while ago, and it's a lot.
It is a lot. So be patient. But I know there's graphic artists that have used Corel before, that are using Hatch. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can offer and to teach us on how to use some of these new tools. So there is in the help guide on the Corel Draw Gem, the standard version, the drop-down menu will go to the Corel website, which has a whole bunch of different tutorials on how to use the different tools and things like that. So they've got like a quick start guide and everything like that. So you can get in there and learn some of the basic tools.
Awesome. Jennifer, do you have any other questions?
Oh, I have a lot of
Okay.
questions for us
Jennifer's
to get through.
Jennifer's
But I
gonna.
heard Corel. I can't hear, Linda, anything that you've been saying because it's dead silence and John's got his headphones
Yeah, I have
in.
my headphones in. I should have given her headphones.
Pete Healy was asking, is the gem Corel worth purchasing? And I'm assuming that whatever you were just talking about with Corel.
I would say that depending on what you're looking at the Corel Gem to do for you. So I do a little bit of homework because, as Linda had said, if you're looking to clean up artwork so that you'll get better results for auto digitizing, then I think it's definitely a big plus. If you're looking at utilizing it with appliques to do more automated appliques, then again, it'll probably be a big plus. If you want to learn how to manually digitize designs, kind of what I went back to with, I know how to digitize in Wilcom in the Hatch program, and I'm really creating lines. That's really what we're doing. We're creating lines and applying stitches to them. So I don't know if you want to be a manual digitizer, if learning Corel is going to really save you a lot of time, but maybe it'll just interest you.
Yeah.
Would you have anything to add to that, or would you just pretty much agree?
I agree with that. Because I've spent my focus just trying to learn to digitize, so I haven't found myself using a lot of the auto digitize features. I like the new photo stitch and the Restitch because I'm going to see some really awesome effects. But learning the basics and the skills to create really nice manually digitized appliques and things like that work great. Now, I will say on the Hatch 3 side, just speaking of SVGs, what they've done as far as exporting, prior to you could export to cutting, you could save like one of your applique files, and when you would bring it up in your cutting software, let's say it was a flower and you've got the center of the flower, well, they were stacked on top of each other. Now there's a new feature where you can select it and it says automatically distribute. So when you open that design in your cutting software, you'll have the outline of the flower, that'll be an SVG, and then you'll have the center of the flower. So that's kind of a time saver there. So
okay. And it does, I think, give you the ability to import SVGs as well.
Yes.
That's the other draw. And I know that was a question that I saw.
Gem. Yes.
Under the Corel Draw Gem, you will be able to import an SVG and then bring it over into the Hatch, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. And okay, other question, Jen?
Yes, I guess some are a little confused in regards to the Corel being the gem. Hatch gems separate from Corel gems.
The gems, just so we clarify, the Hatch software, which is the Hatch version 1, 2, and 3, all of the tools that are available in Hatch, depending on the module that you have, whether it's Digitizer or one of the less ones. The gems are, I guess, additional little add-ons. And to date, there's only 2 of them. There is the Cross Stitch Gem, which is $89. And when you purchase that as a separate add-on, it gives you a new program to really play with within the Hatch platform. The Corel Gem, which is Corel Standard, that is also a separate program that works in conjunction with Hatch. Did I explain that properly, Linda?
You did. And somebody asked, what does gem mean? And I'm like, I don't know. So I just made up Great Embroidery Module. So think of it as just a separate add-on module to Hatch 3. So
okay, I have to let Jennifer know
kind
that.
of confusing. So I just kind of made that up. And
Linda has named what a gem is. A gem is a Great Embroidery Module that you can add on to Hatch. So we've just tagged that whole thing. Awesome. And that was Linda's idea. I'm not taking credit, Jen.
Because I don't know. When I was testing it, they never really said what a gem was. So I don't know.
To Hatch.
Somebody was asking, can you link your current version of Corel to Hatch? I know that the standard and the only other one is the one that you have, which is?
I have the 2020. I think you can link the 2020, and I have the 2021, I guess, graphics suite. So that will integrate. So if you upgrade and you're opening up Hatch 3 for the first time, and it sees that you have either of those two versions already in your computer system, you can go ahead and link.
And link them. And I think it's probably safe to say as well that under the Wilcom Hatch support, they do have sort of a little guideline there specifically for Corel, where you can see which versions are compatible. And again, it is an additional software package that you are adding on to Hatch. So you don't need to have it, but it might be something that you might be interested in, which is why it's an optional gem. Next question, Jen.
Do you have to have Corel as a separate program to use the Corel Gem?
No.
No, you do not.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay, so I'm going to flip back up towards the beginning. Again, we have lots of questions, so try to keep them short.
Okay, we'll keep them
John.
short. Yeah, we're already at the hour mark, so we'll try to spend about 10 minutes answering questions. We'll knock them out.
Okay, perfect. In regards to the Statue of Liberty scene over here, can that be made smaller in size?
We did include 3 different sizes. You get the 6-inch, 7-inch, and 8-inch tiles. So, and those we do include in EMB format and all the flavors for your machine. So you'll want to stay within those 3 sizes because you know that they'll run well.
Okay. Robert is asking, does all of the ESA fonts and other stuff download from you, John, automatically transfer into Hatch 3?
I would almost like to say yes, 99% of the time. And what I found when I did, when I installed Hatch 3, all of my fonts that were in Hatch 2 automatically crossed over. Did you have the same thing, Linda?
I did, but I know there's a couple different people with different computers, so we've got to clarify that, and we'll come up with maybe something we can put in the group to show you the path, because I'm zero on technology and the back end of a computer, so I don't want to give the wrong information.
For sure, if you are having issues, please send us an email, contact@embroiderylegacy.com. We're still trying to work out, I guess, with Wilcom, because they handle all the technical side, what exactly that path will be, and it should cross over without any issues. But again, with so many different, computers, meaning brands and operating systems, and one of the biggest issues I know is a lot of people are using older computers that don't have a significant amount of speed and memory. I mean, this is a 64-bit platform. You should be running a minimum of 16 gigs, in my opinion, to make this work well. Next question, Jen.
How much is the update? So going from
version 2, if you have Digitizer version 2 and you're updating to version 3, it's $199 US. And all of the purchases, if you click our link, because we're an official reseller, it will take you to Hatch's website to purchase. We don't take any of the money, but because you support us, which we really appreciate, we give you some free goodies. But it is $199 to upgrade. If you want to upgrade from a different module up to Digitizer, or from version 1 to version 3, there is different pricing based on which module and which version you currently own. And that will be determined when you go to the Wilcom Hatch site and you choose what you want to, update. Because everything's online, they kind of know what you have and what the difference in price will be.
Yes, and again, if they choose to go through our link at the beginning, then they're classified as one of our customers.
And the way that works, just so you guys know, when we give our bonus ESA fonts, which that is what we are doing for this, and actually I'll just bring this up on screen so you guys can see it as well. So we obviously are an official Hatch reseller, but we do give you guys our bonuses, and our exclusive bonuses are 3 really cool ESA fonts that I created. The one that is the summer letters was insane. I can't tell you how many hours it took to path and map 26 letters. Oh, you have that? Awesome.
I do.
Hold on, I got to bring you. I got to bring you up full screen for that. I got to close the other thing because that does look great. Hold on. How do I close this?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, it went off for a second. Now it's back up. There we go. Okay, show us.
So look, it's 11 by 14. And really, when I watched it stitch out, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, John digitized, 26 of these. and they're all so different. So I think Pam posted in the group today. She's got one. A couple other people are going to start posting theirs. So I'd love to see the whole alphabet eventually stitched out.
Yeah, and you
Beautiful
still
letter.
have 4 more letters. You have 4 more letters to do, Linda.
I only have one frame.
Yeah, I almost broke the commercial level of the software trying to create those, because it's just like, you got to remember, a normal letter L has one object in it, right? It's just the L. That's all you get. This is a letter that has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different objects in them. So they are pretty cool. But when you do click through our links to upgrade, it will actually take you to Wilcom's site. But as long as you follow or you start at our link, then we are tracked as your reseller. And then Wilcom will notify us within 4 or 5 days of your purchase, and we'll send you an email which will give you instructions on how to download these 4 free ESA fonts. So, and just so you know, we also do give bonuses with the 2 gems. So if you did get either of the gems, we have 2 exclusive ESA fonts for those as well. Next question, Jen?
And that would be following the same steps.
Same link, yeah.
Yes, going from our linking to Wilcom. And I was looking for the lady's name. Sorry, I can't find it, but she did ask how to support us by purchasing the gems. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, we really do appreciate it. And yeah.
Sheila is asking, I was wondering how to update, how the update works with classes. I'm working my way right now through the Dream courses.
The classes should not be affected at all, because the foundational information that I give within all 3 levels are based on a running stitch, a satin stitch, and a fill stitch. And the tools used to create those foundational stitch types are exactly the same as they were from version 1, 2, and 3. There's nothing that has been added that would change the, I guess, process of taking that course.
The theory of it.
Yeah, the theory of it goes back. Well, the theory, to be honest, goes back 100 and something years. I was trained by somebody on those foundational stitches. So if you have Hatch version 3 or Hatch version 1, you'll get the exact same results.
Yes, Jenny, you should make a quilt for next year's quilt show with the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to see. I mean, that is, Linda, are you going to embroider? I mean, you have that amazing ZSK machine. Are you going to embroider that Statue of Liberty?
Oh boy.
No, you're not. I know you're not.
Not like putting her on the
Yeah,
spot.
it is a labor of love. The good news is there's not that
2
many
million
colors.
just is like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay, next, Jennifer.
Carolyn Ward is asking, I'd like to know why the minimum and maximum sizes of fonts have changed. For example, book script has changed from 25 to 55 and Hatch 2 to 3.
I'm not 100% sure. I think that Wilcom might have, in the update, started assigning sizes to their fonts. Did they do that?
Yes, they did. So they put a minimum and a maximum. I think I saw Carolyn put that in our group. I would contact Wilcom to ask them, because they were the ones that digitized those letters, and they'll have the answer. You know,
apparently
why there was a change, I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently, it was a really, really, really good idea to put the size of the font by the ESA letter. I wonder who thought of that one. Anyways, I didn't do the maximum. I felt the minimum was more important, because people generally went too small. And because an ESA font can be blown up really big, I thought people could, tweak the design and make it whatever size they want. So if it's one of our fonts, the minimum should still be the same as it always was. They've added that to the ESA fonts that Wilcom provides.
Yes. And I want to say on the big
Hold on a sec. Oh, yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Linda.
Oh, I was going to say on this big font, the minimum size that John has is 180 millimeters. So make sure when you bring it into Hatch that it's at that size, because as you can see all those object components, you want it to generate properly. So
you will really confuse the software if you bring it in at the default 10 millimeter font for that font, because there's so many objects. It'll just be a big blob on the screen, and sometimes it's even messed it up so people can't see anything, right?
Yeah, kind of ghosted. So
yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Margaret Stevenson Millis is asking, could you please address mapping the non-native ESA fonts when there are different sizes in the zip files?
The mapping of the non-native ESA fonts, meaning if you are using the new tool within Hatch to generate the fonts or create the fonts, you will need to create a font for each size. So if you did get within your downloads, when you purchased that stitch file font, you got 3 different sizes from the person that sold them, because a lot of them do that. They give you like a 15, a 25, and a 50 millimeter font size. You will need to map each of those independently at the size that you purchased them at, and save them probably with the same name. That's what I would do. Would you agree, Linda?
That's what I was doing, because that's some, like you said, might come in 4, 2, and 1, and so you would just create a file 4, 2, and 1, and then it pops up, because you would use that normally if you were bringing it in individually. You'd use all the 4-inch letters or whatever, so it just makes it easier for you. And once you do one, it goes really fast. So it's just a matter of,
you get the swing of it. Yeah, you get the swing of it. And also keep in mind, you can increase and decrease those fonts a little bit. I mean, you can go up or down 10% safely, but I wouldn't go crazy.
No, because it's only as good as the person who originally digitized it too. So remember that as well.
Yeah. Yes, Jennifer, another question?
Yes. GCA Parent is asking, if I were to use Hatch to digitize each letter of a custom font and then use Keyboard Design Collection to map them, how or what is different or missing from the ESA font?
Here, and I'll give people a little background just on ESA fonts, because we do get that question a lot, like how do I create an ESA font? You do need the commercial level of Wilcom software to create an actual ESA object-based font. You cannot do that in Hatch. So if you do take a stitch file font and create a map out a font, it's not going to give you the same, I guess, attributes as you would get from a digitized ESA font done within the commercial level. Now, there is a little catch-22 there. If you do have the commercial level of the software, and you'd probably own the most current version, when you save it, most times you can't save it down in the version. So the fonts that you create most likely wouldn't be able to be used in Hatch. And that's where I got to be honest, I have a little bit of an advantage, because I've been using this software for many years, and I have some older version dongles that I will never give up, because I know that I can create fonts in an older version and go up is no problem. In a newer version, and going down is not applicable. You can't do that. So it's there's a whole bunch of little things there that people have to consider.
Okay, Helen S. is asking, is there an option to pay off the upgrade fee?
Is there an option to pay off the upgrade fee? I think, I don't know how to answer that, Linda. I mean, the upgrade is $199. So if you can't flex pay that. It's sort of a one-time fee, and that will be, then you will go from version 1 to 2.
2 to 3.
Sorry, 2 to 3. Yeah, not 1 to 2, 2 to 3.
Okay.
But I think that if you are on FlexPay and you want to upgrade, you can pay the $199. You will upgrade to 3 and continue making your payments on FlexPay. Yes.
Okay. Jan Temple is asking, after you put a font in, do you have to shut down the program and open it back up again?
No,
I don't think so.
That was technical error for me. So no. No, you would just open it up on the your screen, and just as you were choosing a regular ESA font, you'll open up the keyboard collection font, and you'll be able to scroll down. And you just
so as soon as you've created it in the software, it will then appear within your list of map fonts. Okay, and again, it is a different icon. So your true types are one type of icon, meaning, I don't know what to call it, but it looks one way.
Like a zigzag. The true type has a blue TT.
Yeah.
Yep.
The ESA is the zigzag, and then the new ones have something different. Yeah. Okay. Next, Jen.
Sarah Barton is asking, do any true type fonts work, like ones used for regular graphic designs?
True types, this is just my opinion. True type fonts are actually pretty darn good when you bring them into the software and convert from a true type into stitches, meaning that the software is pretty intelligent. The only thing it doesn't know how to do sometimes is how to cut apart the objects. So like on an R, or, you know, where you have a stick and a stick and another stick, it might not start breaking them apart properly, and you get inconsistencies in stitch directions. So as far as a base is concerned, it does a good job, but then you probably will need to go into some or a lot of the letters and use the knife tool to edit them and change stitch angles and clean it up afterwards. The other thing that you will have to consider is the stroke weight of a font. Some fonts have very thin stroke weights, meaning lines, especially in scripts, where with embroidery we have minimums. We have to have a certain, you know, stitch length, and if it's a really small width, it might disappear into the fabric. So you might need to go in and start moving nodes and making them wider so that you get better results. So is it better to digitize it manually properly from scratch? Yeah, but in a pinch, or if you're doing for somebody you don't like that much, it's a really convenient way. Sorry. Next, Jen.
Maybe you can just confirm. I see Tamara says when you install a new font into Hatch, you have to close the software and reopen it. But are we talking the same?
An ESA font you would need to, I think. If
yes,
you install, yeah, for an ESA font, yes. If you downloaded one of our optional ESA fonts, then you would, like the 4 that we give you when you upgrade, you'll want to make sure that you put them into the path where you have your fonts and then restart your software, and then it will appear.
Well, what are you calling these new gems?
Oh, the
Is something
gems?
different.
Okay,
right?
well,
A different process.
that's the gems and fonts are different things. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Susan Kennedy Grant says, does this program have a background removal tool for artwork imported for digitizing, like artwork graphic background removal tool in Canva?
So that would be within the auto digitizing process. So you mentioned that you could do the dog and take away the background.
You would have to do that like in the paint type of software where you're going to go back and remove the background. But I'm trying to think of one. I'm going to have to come back in the group. There was some. Oh, it's in the cross stitch gem. So since it didn't work, but anyway, I brought in a piece of artwork. It had a white background, and when I click the auto digitize feature, it says include background, and you can check no. So in the cross stitch gem, you have that option on the artwork, but for the regular side of Hatch, you would need to clean that up on your own. And John does have an older video showing you how to going into paint and to remove the background. So if you do a search on this YouTube channel, or I can post it in the group, it shows you how to remove the background.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a two-step process, you know, and where you do need to make sure, especially if you're using auto tools, you need to make sure you crop just the areas that you want to be auto digitized, because it will see everything, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. Jennifer?
Teresa's asking, how about bringing in a PES file? Have there been improvements on how the stitching is converted?
Well, the stitching actually never, in my opinion, had a problem on the PES files if you chose the right option, meaning that, and that's not just with PES, that's with any stitch, stitch file, because within Hatch, you can do one of two things. You can tell it to convert to objects, or you can tell it to leave it as stitches. Right? And if you tell the software when you're bringing in a PES or DST or JEF file or whatever file it is to leave it as stitches, then the software will do absolutely nothing as far as changes are concerned, because all it's seeing is stitches. If you tell the Hatch software to convert to objects, then it may go in and start doing some strange things to that file. So if you don't want any changes, just leave it as stitches. Now then the question comes, well, why would you convert to objects? Because if you do want to make any changes or get rid of a couple petals or leaves on that flower, it's a lot easier to select an object and delete it than it is to go in and start editing individual stitches. Would you agree with that, Linda?
Yes. I've played around with that before too. So I think it just depends on what you plan to do with that file. So if you don't really want to make changes, just keep it as stitches and you're good to go.
And I think that does confuse people a little bit, because most software programs don't have that option. Most programs don't try to convert it to objects when you bring it back in. Some do, because Wilcom does make software for different machine brands, but most of them are their stitches. They come in as stitches, and that's it.
Okay.
Next, Jen.
Stephanie Lynn says she does not see where the Corel Gem is listed in her account. Do you have any pointers on where she would find it?
We will get the boys or girls or whoever's watching to put up a link for the Corel
And it's
Gem.
at the very bottom. So when you click on the upgrade to Hatch 3, and that page pops up from the DME site, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see the gems. That's where they are.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that as far as gems, I know Wilcom has come up with some additional ESA fonts too, right? That they also have. So I mean, if you like some of those fonts, we do have, I think, almost 900 of them on our site as well. So, but there is, I guess, options that you can purchase to add into the software.
Yeah.
Next,
and people
Jennifer.
have asked,
I hope you can hear me. I'm just seeing your post there. That
I need to get Jennifer a set of headphones next time.
Yes. So hopefully
Sorry.
everybody can hear me now. And we still have like 30 questions. I'll try to speed it up.
Okay. We'll get through as many questions as we can. If we don't get to them all, guys, because we are running over right now, but we'll take a few more questions. If we don't get to them, please post them in the group, and we will do our best to get to those first thing in the morning.
Hey, Carla's asking, is the gem only available for Hatch 3 or is it available for Hatch 2 as well?
Hatch 3 only.
Okay. Narelle was saying she knew about the cross gem, but what was the other one?
There's the cross stitch gem, and there is the Corel standard gem.
Okay. Susan is asking, can you purchase the gems at a later time, or do you need to do it at the same time with the upgrade?
You can purchase it at a later time.
Okay. How do we get sequence and object properties back when they detach and become movable? I believe they move around, detach when you double click.
That one, do you want to go ahead,
Linda? When that little box is floating around on the top right-hand corner, I think there's 2 arrows. And if you double click on that, it should take it back over.
Agreed. And if you lose it all together, then you go to the, I think it's the Windows tab, and the Windows tab has Dockers and tool. Yep. And that'll help you get it back. So if you can't get them stationary, then maybe close them all together and then go up to your Windows and bring your Dockers back in, and it should be back on the side. Okay.
I think maybe this was a question. I'm not sure. Karen said maximum amount of thread colors in the new photo stitch, ? Change the density of thread length, ?
I haven't really gone up.
Went over Chetty.
Go ahead, Jen. Go ahead, Linda.
I haven't really, taken that to the limit. So there's a density setting, so you can lessen your density, but I haven't taken it more than 13 or 15 to see what it could do. So I just think it's a matter of playing with it, generate the stitches, seeing how many stitches, and you can always undo that and play with the different, because they've given you the new options on stitch length and the density, and I think it's coverage. I want to say.
And that would be an interesting contest. So if you have 214 colors of Floriani thread and you want to use them all in one design, we'd like to see that. Right?
Then I'll stitch out that Statue of Liberty.
Jen, next question.
Linda's volunteering you for that one.
She can't even hear, and she already knew what to chime in, Linda. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Jen.
Hatch 2 worked with only some Corel Draw versions. What about Hatch 3?
That would be probably the same thing. And as far as an official answer to that, I would definitely go to the Hatch site and get their official verbiage on what that would be.
Okay, if you've already upgraded to Hatch 3, do you still need to have Hatch 2?
If you've upgraded, if you upgraded to 3, that would assume that you did own 2, because you couldn't upgrade without having a previous version. So if you want to purchase Hatch 3, then it would be the same cost as it was to purchase Hatch 2 prior to the upgrade. Did I make sense there?
I think they're talking about, I still have and I haven't deleted it either. there, you still, I guess if you look at in your computer, you can see there's a Hatch 2 file and a Hatch 3 file. So I don't know when the proper time to delete it is. So I just have left mine in there till here's
Yeah,
I'm
and
going to give you the
I've
word.
left mine there too.
Because I'm not a tech person, so I'm like, no, I don't know what to do with that. So we'll check with Wilcom to see what the official answer is with that and post that in the group.
Okay, sounds good. Next question, Jen.
LaRonda's asking, what's your favorite new feature of version 3 outside of the gems?
My favorite new feature is, well, I personally like the laydown stitch, the automation of it. I think that is awesome because it went way beyond anything else I've seen in the industry.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then there's a center all, so it centers your entire design in the center of the screen. I think that I like that one too. But the laydown it's great because it's quick, easy, and you can really fine tune it the way you want to too.
And I think the Restitch is going to be a lot of fun once people get their mind about playing with it almost like multimedia. I think that's going to be a tool that will have a lot of really cool effects.
Yep.
Next, Jen.
Ellen, if you're still having an issue trying to upgrade through us, or I guess get the gems through us, thank you again for your support. You can email into our office at contact@embroiderylegacy.com, and Leanne will help you. Again, that's contact@embroiderylegacy.
Yep, we appreciate that, and we really appreciate your support, and that's why we always try to give some exclusive bonuses. And that one font that we did, and I'll show it again real quick, but that last font that we did, which was this one right here, that summer font is awesome. I think that's probably the most advanced font that I've ever done.
It's beautiful. I mean, I just love it. I had to stitch it right away. I loved it.
Okay, next, Jen.
Marty is saying, will there be a link within the upgrade purchase for the gems? So again, they just need to link through our site to get to the Hatch.
Get to the upgrade page. It'll take you to the Hatch site, and then the gems will be there as an option at the bottom.
And again, any issues, please feel free to email in.
Yep.
Angie is asking, what were the 2 gems available? I think you covered that.
We covered that.
Sue is saying, have problems with Hatch 3 been ironed out? Somebody else also asked, and I did see someone's posting that just recently, within the past few hours, there was an update. So again, the more problems or issues that people may have, it's best to put it into tech support, because the more they know about it, the faster they're going to get to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I will just kind of mention, I'm not trying to make any excuses for ourselves or Wilcom by any means, but Wilcom is a very reputable company that when these problems do arise, and it would be, let's put it this way, I would have been shocked, gobsmacked if you are from Australia, but if there was absolutely no issues with the upgrade, I don't think my brain could have handled that, because we're talking about a software program that is operating on so many different operating systems and different computers, and most of the issues that they've found have been memory and related and graphic card related, because they've gone to a 64-bit system, and they are still trying to make sure that they iron all that out for everybody as well. So they are doing their very, very best to make sure that everybody can get taken care of. Go ahead, Jen.
Debbie and a few other people have asked, do I need to keep Hatch 2?
I don't think so. I don't think you need to keep Hatch 2. But if it's on your system right now, again, we'll probably post that in the group, right, Linda? We'll get some official word on that. Okay, next.
If I'm using Photoshop 2022, so don't think I need to buy another graphic program, right?
I would agree with that, especially if you're proficient with that program. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is the Corel Gem, is it a full program of Corel?
The Corel Gem is actually the Corel standard version. So it is not the full suite, and the price does reflect that. So it's kind of what you would need to work with Hatch, but it's not a full graphics program.
Angie Andrews is asking, do you think a word art could be added?
Do you think what? Sorry?
Word art?
Word art? Actually, there are some word art features, aren't there?
Yes, if you type your text on the screen and you scroll right down below, like the font name, there's you've got the baselines, but right underneath that is word art. So you can make art. I think there's like 25 of them, like arch it or make a point and just shape the letters. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that is
So
in there. That's
yeah,
that's
some of
a
those
hack
features
too
are
as
there.
well. So that's always been in there.
I think they have added some features though as well, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Yeah.
They have added, and I'll make it some tips posts on it, but they've, like if you type multiple rows of text, it now gives you an option at the bottom that you can increase and decrease your spacing versus there was another little workaround to do that. So they're making it easier and slanting your letters and slanting the baseline. So I'll touch on that in the group to kind of get into those little details, but there's been some nice enhancements to the whole, font
Right. And
category.
one question that I saw just came up is Hatch in general, when you purchase a version, what happens when you purchase a new computer? Does it transfer over? And just for those people who aren't familiar with Hatch, Hatch actually is a program that authenticates your license online. So you will actually have it running actively on one computer, but you can have it loaded on 20 different computers, and you will just log out of one computer and log on to another. So as long as you release the license, you're fine to go on to another computer. If you get lost in cyberspace, you have a crash, then Wilcom support will help you retrieve or unlock your license so that you can put it on another computer. Jennifer, any questions?
Lots.
Okay, lots. Okay, we are going to go for about 3 more minutes, guys, and then we will wrap it up, and we will try to get as many questions. We might have to do a part 2. Maybe if Linda's available, maybe we'll do a part 2
Yeah.
at a later time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Teresa says,
I'll
could
put
you
a
create
post
an
in the group
SVG
tomorrow.
file using...
Sorry, Jen. Sorry, go ahead, Linda.
I'm going
And
to put
Linda's
a
gonna.
post in the group tomorrow. List your questions here. And so if we can keep them all in one post, then I can slowly check them off. But if there's like 25 different posts, you know how they get pushed up and down in the group. That way we can kind of keep track of them. So I'll start something tomorrow and say, what are your specific questions, and we'll do our best to answer.
Okay, and maybe what we'll do then, Linda, as well, if they are questions that require a very detailed explanation, meaning that it's easier for us to talk it through with people like this as opposed to write a small novel, we will sort of save those for the next video, and we'll try to cover those live. Okay,
Sure.
Go ahead, Jen.
Could you create an SVG file using Linkscape and bring it into Hatch? I assume the answer is yes, in that it would be an SVG file.
You can only bring the SVG files in using the Corel Draw gem, or if you have a compatible version of Corel Draw. You can't bring an SVG file into Hatch and start digitizing from that.
That is correct. Yeah, Hatch will bring in a raster image. I mean, not raster. Sorry, a bitmap, a JPEG, anything like that. Yes. Go ahead, Jen.
Christina, designs by Christina. Yes, you do have to have Hatch 3 in order to use this cross-stitch program.
Correct. Yes.
Angel is asking, actually, she just says she's enjoying your presentation. You're doing a good job.
Yay. Good job, Linda.
Clay will be purchasing the upgrade next Friday, plus a cross-stitch. Yay. We have Hatch 3 software. If I want to buy the Corel software, which edition is compatible with Hatch 3?
Either the Hatch standard version, which is $249 purchased through Hatch, or if you want the full version of the software, it will be more expensive.
2021 suite, but there might be another version. Just check with Hatch just to be sure, because I don't want to give the wrong information. But I have 2021, the graphics suite, and it does work in Hatch.
Okay, and do you have any idea how much that suite normally, and I know we don't sell it, but I know it is more expensive than $250.
It is, and it's like a subscription service. I'd have to look.
So,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so do a little bit of homework on what would best suit your needs. Yeah, go ahead, Jen. Two more questions.
Oh, I've got many more. The Embroiderer's Dream course, is it for Hatch 3? Yes, we did cover that slightly, that it's
It's applicable.
Yes, it is applicable. Cecilia said she upgraded the other day. She wondered how long it would take to get bonuses. Usually it's about 4 or 5 days, but Wilcom is in Australia, so it may take a little bit longer. If you don't hear anything, then email in.
Yeah.
Give us, I would say, 4 to 5 working days.
Yeah, we did add something to our end of the process so that people, when they went through our links, they would put down that, yes, they did want the bonuses, just so we could verify that they did go to Wilcom's site. So we apologize for that inconvenience, but it was so that we could verify that you did choose us. In a situation like this, when Wilcom has, I guess, so many upgrades coming in, it might be a few days for them to accumulate the orders and let us know. So 4 or 5 days would be realistic. Go ahead, Jen.
Sarah, I see that you wanted to buy the program from scratch. Yes, there's many more free goodies that we give when you buy the whole kit and caboodle from us.
We include education and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yes. Helen says, you mentioned the 16 gig memory. Will it work with an 8 gig?
I would definitely take your computer in and get some more memory in there, to be honest. Or stick with Hatch 2 right now, because that isn't running in 64. But it definitely needs the processor speed. Some people were experiencing that white screen where, you know, they bought Hatch 3, and every time that happened, it was a memory issue. So just I would look at the specs and make sure that your current computer meets those specs. Go ahead.
Karen, yes, if you purchased your Hatch originally elsewhere and you want to get the upgrade from Embroidery Legacy, definitely just click on our link to go through to their link, and you're entitled to our bonuses. So again, thanks for your support. My computer is an HP Windows 10 that's 6 years old. Is it likely able to handle the new version?
I would definitely look at what the specs are and make sure that you have enough RAM, enough memory to make sure. I mean, even if it's a 6-year-old computer, it might be iffy, would you say, Linda? But you could add more memory.
Yeah, I would go and just look at the specs and see if you're on the higher end. I wouldn't come in. You have a little extra room on your computer. I'm running Windows 10, and I think I've got about 40 gigs left on my computer memory, so I'm kind of at the borderline. But so far, you know, every computer's different, so I don't know. That's not my thing.
Okay, Jennifer, a couple more questions.
Okay, Brian appreciates the work that you've done for the summer letters.
Thank you.
He wants to know if you're crazy or bored.
Well, both.
One of the grandbabies was not here. Judith is asking, where is the user guide in Hatch 3?
The user guide, I haven't even looked, but I'm pretty sure it is within the program, isn't it?
Okay, so if you go on the Hatch 3 screen and if you click on the Help tab, it will list. There's a couple of categories, and it will list like new release and user guide. So it's in there. It's PDF form. You can download it on your laptop or whatever. But help screen in Hatch 3.
Yeah. Within there, you do have your product help. You have your release notes, which will show you all the new features that have been released. There's a quick start guide. There is a link to the Hatch Academy, which our good friend Lindy Goodall has done some incredible videos to help you get started as well. And then obviously, things to get updates and all that. If there is an update that just came out, you just have to go there and click it, and it'll see if you are at the most current version. If you're not, it will automatically update for you. So yeah, it'll take care of all that. I think Jennifer was giving me the we're done signal. So we really do appreciate all of you joining us. We've gone way over our normal hour, like 35 minutes over. Linda, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dara.
Yeah, thank you so much. And all the work that you did, because you did an incredible job on that video. And I think that you should do all of the videos from now on, because you got like 25,000 views on that. And I feel, yeah, it's crazy. But you did an awesome job.
Thank you. But I'll keep posting.
For those who may not know, on our Facebook group, the Wilcom Hatch group, we actually have Linda's tips, and she has started doing those for the version 3. So anybody that is interested in following along, join that group. And
For those of you who aren't familiar with us, there is a embroidery cheat sheet that we have that is applicable to any software. We also have some other really cool things like the free trial of Hatch, where you can actually try before you buy. I always think that's a great thing to do if you're thinking about digitizing. And we do have a free challenge, which actually shows people, I guess, practical applications of doing projects in the software rather than just fumbling along and trying to do it all by yourself. So all that is there. And then, of course, our Facebook groups, which we have one for Hatch. We have a generic one as well. And we do thank all of our admins and moderators, because you guys have done an incredible job during this. You know, it's been crazy the last few days. So thank you. And we are actually at 49,300 subscribers for YouTube. So it's getting close. And I did mention that if we hit 50,000, I was going to do something special. And I have yet to figure out what I'm going to do, but I better figure it out quickly, because I better hurry up. So, but I do have a gift of procrastination, don't I, Jennifer?
You do.
Yes. So anyways, I'm too busy digitizing crazy ESA fonts. So anyways, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. And thank you again, Linda. And I think that's it.
The free giveaways.
Oh, giveaways. Okay. So
do that quick.
Yep. And I don't even think we answered, but here, just type in, did you type in win? Did we ask people?
You haven't done anything.
You know what? We're going to give away some free prizes. I'm going to give away our lemon drops collections. So 2 of those to people on YouTube and 2 on Facebook, because normally I only give away 1, but because I almost forgot, we're going to give away 2 of each. So who are the winners, Jennifer?
Just a second, they're being typed over right now.
So Jennifer, people are typing in win. I apologize, guys. Usually we always give away free stuff because I know people love free. So we'll give it. Did you want to sing a little song for us, Linda, while we're waiting?
No, my family's not allowed to hum, sing, or whistle, so that wouldn't be a good idea. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because all 3 of my kids are musical, and Jennifer and I don't really have that gift. So we're wondering where it came from, but we're in the same boat.
I could sing.
Yeah. Okay. Jennifer's going to announce some winners.
Okay. Sabine Kerber is one of the winners. So congratulations.
Was that Facebook or YouTube?
I believe that's YouTube.
Okay.
And Nancy Hutchins Libby is also a winner. So congratulations, Nancy.
Awesome. And we need 2 more.
I think James might have to take over Bethany's part because she's putting the baby to bed.
Well, I can choose 2.
Okay, you choose 2.
I can see them here. So I am going to choose Dawn Cook. Dawn Cook on Facebook. You are the lucky winner. And let's do this. And this is awesome because I can actually, okay, let's do Sheila Graham. So Sheila Graham on Facebook. You're the, congratulations, guys. Again, sorry for going over. We really appreciate all of you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you, Linda. I appreciate you, Jennifer. I appreciate River and Beth and them coming here and making my. I've been swimming in the pool every afternoon with him, so it's been so much
anybody
fun.
who wants to do an extra, maybe next week or 2 weeks, the next question and answer, we can get onto that then.
Okay, so if you are available, Linda, I'll talk to you tomorrow. But if you are available, we'll do another Q&A on Hatch 3. And if you guys want to load your questions up for us on the group, we will take a look at that and we'll try to get that underway.
Yep, that sounds awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Linda.
Good morning.
Bye-bye.